So I'm back. Welcome to another colorful Keto with Dory, and we're getting together with Spirit Warrior Wende. And you know what? Tonight we're going to do less of a formal Q&A, and Wende and I are just going to chit chat with you guys about some things that have kind of come up very, very recently. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to have a coffee, we're going to chit chat, and it's going to go that way today, babies. And here comes Miss Wende. Tracy, Judy, Crystal, so awesome to see you, darlings. And we are getting all connected up with Wende. And since we're doing our girly chat, I'm going to take out my chocolate. What?
What? Chocolate?
What? I'm going to eat me some chocolate, girl. I got me some 90%. I'm going to eat me on that. How was your day?
The other day, and it just was not my friend.
I know. We have to figure out something for you because Baker's chocolate is totally on the not yummy. Just saying.
It is totally not yummy. But you know what is really yummy?
What?
My internet. Look at this. I am not glitching. What? I am not doing the big circle. I am not freezing. We fixed it. Yay.
What? Smooth, just saying.
So, you know, last week, because my internet was so glitchy, we were trying to have a conversation with you guys about, you know, why people are struggling on keto. Things like, you know, why are they miserable on keto? Are, you know, a lot of people are comparing their journeys to other people. There's a lot of misinformation out there. But last week we were getting a good laugh over this, and then we didn't get to finish it because my internet was just not cooperating at all. So I picked up this Women's World magazine, Shortcut Keto. Okay. Shortcut. Let's start with, there ain't no shortcut. There's no shortcut to keto.
Oh, come on. Come on, Wende. This is the miracle diet. And I'm going to lose 20 pounds in 5 seconds. You shut up your face. You don't know. I'm going to eat healthy for 3 days and lose 10 pounds.
Then you must be following this magazine. Because this magazine says you can drop 17 pounds every...
Okay,
please tell me that wasn't me.
It was. So I'm wondering if there's like a conspiracy theory. Like, do you think the people who published the article are like, no, you're going to talk about that again? Because every time we try to talk about it, your internet goes, no, ladies. No.
So, 17 pounds every week. I, personally, had 125 pounds to lose. So when I did the math on that, that was about 7.35 weeks. Now, if we were all losing weight at that rate, would you need to be sitting here listening to us gab in your ear, tell you about your mindset, tell you about all the things that are stopping you from losing weight, or would you just be losing 17 pounds a week and getting it over and done with? So I go in the magazine and I start to read because I want to know what the heck the shortcut is, because I haven't found any shortcuts yet.
If there is one, how come I don't know it?
Oh, well, you know what? I don't think they know it, because the first thing they do is they're marketing it as shortcut keto. Guess what shortcut keto really means? It means lazy keto. It means don't track your macros. So they packaged it with a pretty bow and said, oh, we have shortcuts for you. No, you don't.
But the article says, and it's like really big words on the front and really big words in really bright print. I don't know if you're aware of this or not, Wende, but that totally makes it true. It's like hashtag before something makes it true. Hashtag real news.
Hashtag. I know. So we go on, and it's like, the first shortcut is skip calculating your macros, guys. Don't calculate your macros ever. Just eat. Well, now, and honestly, you know what? This isn't bad advice, personally, because this is the same advice that I give you guys, too. Okay? So they say start with 2 cups of raw or 1 cup of cooked greens or cruciferous veggies, right? So I always say start with 2 fists of rice, right? You want to add 2 to 3 servings of fat. Well, your thumb is approximately 2 tablespoons of fat. Okay, so you want to add a fat. And then you want to have your protein, which is about the size of your palm. 3 to 4 ounces of protein, roughly. If you do that, you will lose weight. You will get healthier because you're cutting out processed foods and sugars. Mm-hmm. Is it that simple? No, not really, but that's okay. You know what? We can live without macros if we go by that guideline. Mm-hmm. Not the worst advice ever.
No.
Jerry says that on lazy keto, I've never counted anything. Yes, yeah, I counted in the very beginning for the first couple of weeks because I didn't know what I was doing. And then we went lazy keto. And you guys got to remember, we were going after cancer. So really, I should have been tracking everything. And we said, no, we're going to trust ourselves. So we didn't track and we still reversed the cancer. So, yes. Then it goes on to talk about using pea sticks. Dory and I have had many conversations about said pea sticks.
Can I tell my opinion first?
Oh, yes, please tell your pea stick stories.
Because, you know what, I did go out and I bought them when I first started. Because when I hit the groups, they're like, oh, my God, have you got pea sticks yet? And I was like, pea sticks? What are you talking about? And they explained to me how you can get these little sticks that you pee on, and they show you if you are in and how much ketosis you are in. And I was like, oh, well, that sounds kind of cool. So they're fairly expensive, but I did run out and buy them, and I tried them. And for the first little bit, I was like, oh, yay, look at all my color. I'm great. And then after a couple of weeks, it started getting less, and I was like, okay, well, then clearly I'm doing something wrong now, because last week I was like super in ketosis, and now this week I'm like kind of only a little in ketosis. So obviously I'm doing something wrong, but I wasn't actually doing anything wrong. My body started burning the ketones, so I'm spilling less of them. And I realized in that moment that pea sticks are really good for something. They are. If you were trying to get pregnant and you're used to taking pregnancy tests all the time and checking when you're ovulating and you're addicted to peeing on sticks, these are the ticket for you. They are so much cheaper than a pregnancy test. And if you feel like peeing on something all the time, knock your boots off.
Well, this article says that they tell you if you're making ketones, which is true, okay? It takes 48 hours for this to first happen. It's easier than tracking carbs, and it's more accurate. See now, and not just do they put it like more accurate. Do you see it or italicized the more?
Oh, well, because that makes it more true.
Accurate than tracking your macros, which is okay, fine. It's not, because like Dory said, keto pea, those pea sticks are really meant for people who have type 1 diabetes, and they're measuring whether or not they're spilling ketones, because that means they're going into ketoacidosis. For us, they literally work like a pregnancy test. So if you pee on them and you get something, that means you're spilling ketones. It means your body is starting to produce them. It means you're working towards fat adaptation, and your body is not efficiently using those ketones yet. So surprise, for all you visual people, it's showing you that your body's making ketones. But eventually it's going to go down to a trace or nothing. And then you're going to think, oh, like Dory, I'm doing something wrong. No, your body is doing something right by using those ketones and not showing up on the pea stick anymore. Right? So you don't really want the results showing up on the pea stick. But the pea stick in the beginning gives a lot of people the sense that they are in ketosis, and they are. I mean, I'm not discounting that. I just think that there are better signs if you pay attention to your body that you're in ketosis. I had the worst metallic mouth ever. I there's just no getting rid of it. There's no chewing gum through it. There's no drinking through it. Like, it was bad. It was terrible. I had the worst body odor, like deodorant. I'm sorry. My trusty 20 years of secret all of a sudden was no secret.
No secret.
All of a sudden, it was like, What is going on with my armpits? This is terrible. This is awful. My deodorant's not working. You know, your pee starts to smell. And like, okay, so last summer I was working weddings, okay, and I'm new to keto. I started in February. This is June and July. I'm in heavy ketosis. My pee smells something fierce. And I'm at weddings, so I'm going for a pee, and I'm getting up, and it's like, whoosh, the smell of keto pee comes up. I'm like, oh my God, I hope no one comes in the stall after me, because this is really embarrassing. Because it was bad. But I know by the way that now, after, over a year and a half and really paying attention to my body, I know by the way that my pee flows, whether I'm in ketosis or not. Like, because you get that familiar with it. You don't need the pee sticks, but if you're a visual person, just understand that it's just telling you, yes, you're in ketosis. Eventually, it's not going to tell you, and you're going to have to switch to a blood monitor if you really want to know, right? Then the next shortcut is to sip a keto booster. So adding MCT oil or powder to your morning coffee stimulates the fatty acids, stimulate immediate production of ketones and rev your metabolism for up to 24 hours. Plus, new Canadian research found coffee's caffeine boosts ketone production by 116%.
That sounds like totally like real, accurate, legit math, by the way. Just saying, hashtag you got schooled, hashtag real science. Totally sounds like believable, accurate numbers to me.
Now a lot of people really like MCT oil. They find that it's really helpful. A lot of people find that it's just really expensive coconut oil. You know what? Some people say they get a lot more mental clarity, a lot more energy. I personally have never tried it. It may be something I eventually add into my arsenal because I'm still trying to figure out why I'm not getting all the things you guys get.
Yep.
But I got enough that I look fantastic. I feel really great. So whatever. So I haven't tried any MCT oil, so I can't speak to whether or not it actually works better for people. But, this whole sip a keto booster is now the whole have bulletproof coffee, basically, is what that just said. And for a lot of people, bulletproof coffee can really, really stall you because you don't need the extra fat going in. People like Dory who've had bariatric surgery, who have really small appetites and have a hard time getting their macros in because they were never big eaters to start with.
Yes.
They work really well for them. But for people like me who still have, a lot of, okay, before you guys all say you look fantastic, naked, I could show you where all the fat is hiding, okay? My clothes are awesome. So,
right.
For someone like me who still has, you can see, I have a roll here. I didn't grab it. Look, see, I have a big roll still sitting there. That's all visceral fat. I don't need bulletproof coffee because, hi, fuel right here.
Hello, suck me up, baby.
For some people, it works really great, though. So, please, you know what? You guys that find bulletproof coffee works really well, good, go for it. But a lot of people struggle with bulletproof coffee, okay? Preventing keto flu. So it says to take a magnesium supplement and eat lots of potassium-rich spinach and kale. And that's how this woman in the article prevented keto flu. But nowhere in here does it mention anything about sodium. And sodium is your biggest electrolyte that you have to worry about on keto. She says she avoided keto flu without sodium. Good for her. Some people avoid keto flu altogether. Most of us aren't that fortunate.
I did. Hate to brag. Just kidding. I totally love it. But I didn't get keto flu because I eased in. So the only reason why I avoided keto flu is because I slowly cut my sugar and carbs the same way you would switch your pet's diet. If you were to buy your cat or your dog a brand new brand of food and just stop giving them their old food and start giving them their new food, guess what happens to them? They get sick as their body adjusts to digesting something different. So they recommend you take, 3/4 old food, 1/4 new food, and then slowly cut in the new food and then cut out the old food. And that was really my approach to starting keto. So I didn't get the keto flu because I didn't instantly go from eating sugar and carbs to not. It was a process for me, so I didn't get the keto flu. So to be honest, when people say to me, how do I avoid the keto flu? I tell them that, you know what? Spend the week before you start cycling down your carbs. Don't spend your last week binging on all the things because you're sure you're never going to have them. Because if you're going to have the keto flu, that's how you're going to make it hate your face. Like, there's no other way to say it. If you're spending your last week binging on all of the things, all of the symptoms you're going to experience are going to grow. As opposed to spending that last week saying, you know what, I'm not going to have the potato. I'm not going to have the this. I'm going to, slowly ease out the sugar and the carbs. Then guess what? No keto flu.
See, and it didn't work that way for me because I took out sugar the first week. So week 2 was when I started substituting most of my carbs, and that all went really fine. But then when I decided to tighten up my macros, because at first it was just, I'm just eating and I'm just switching and whatever. And as soon as I went macro-based, boom, I got slammed with the keto flu. And then in January of this year, I tweaked my macros and boom, I got slammed even harder with the keto flu. So, you know what? But I will tell you, when I went carnivore, I did not get slammed with the keto flu because I made sure I kept my electrolytes up, and it made a difference. It made a huge difference. But my electrolytes include sodium. You need 2 teaspoons of sodium. Pink Himalayan salt preferably, or Celtic sea salt, because of the trace minerals in it. It's not because it's something fancy. It's because it's got trace minerals that your body needs in it, okay? And so I make sure that I take my pink Himalayan salt. I measure out 2 teaspoons every single day, and I make my guys measure out 2 teaspoons every day. And you know what? They feel better when they have their 2 teaspoons. And then my son, as we all know, my son moved back home, and I stuck him on keto, low carb, and he had 0 keto flu. 0, which is probably good because he's got enough going on in his life. He doesn't need keto flu.
My kid didn't get any keto flu either.
Sorry?
My kid didn't get any keto flu either.
I know, Felix didn't either. But man, like, I had enough for all of them. Trust me, I've had more than enough of my fair share. Like, even if I don't pay attention to my electrolytes in a day, with being on carnivore, I'm supposed to be coming off the electrolytes, but my body's not happy about giving them up. Now, I can get away usually with 1 teaspoon of salt, but if I let that go too long, my electrolytes still tank on me, and I need that salt. 2 teaspoons of salt on top of whatever you're putting on top of your food, guys. Super, super important. And Dr. Finney from the Art and Science of Low Carb said it is more dangerous for you to go to 2,000 milligrams of salt a day than it is for you to go to 8,000 milligrams of salt a day, because you will excrete whatever your body doesn't need.
Well, and for me, I seem to get away without a lot of extra supplementing. I salt my food. I have salty choices. If I feel like my electrolytes are low, I do my favorite, which makes me so proud to be keto. The one thing that my mother always said would kill me, and I was like, whatever, you don't know me, I like it, and I drink pickle juice. Yay, yeah, pickle juice.
Pickle and olive juice works really, really well for the keto flu because the brine is so full of salt. So Jerry was saying here that she uses MCT 1 tablespoon once a day. My MCT is not too expensive. I paid $10 for a bottle, which lasts me over a month, and it makes me go to the bathroom regular. And then she wants to know what keto flu feels like. Because she's never had it. And then she says, I take my electrolytes at night when I fix my apple cider vinegar drink. Yeah. See, I drink it through the day so that I'm not getting up going pee all night long. Keto flu, what does it feel like? Okay. Lightheaded, dizzy, nauseous, upset stomach, diarrhea, headache. A headache. Oh, the headache, man. It just doesn't go away. You cannot get rid of it without salt. You can't. You can take as much Tylenol as you want. It does not touch it. For me, I had it pretty bad, and I would be driving and my world would go tilt-a-whirl on me.
Oh.
Like all of a sudden I'd be driving and everything would do this and then back. Okay, I'm pulling over now. What's going on? Yeah, like my electrolytes were really, really out of balance. I really struggled with keto flu. Like I had a really bad electrolyte balance just after I got married last year. So end of April-ish and all through May, my body went haywire trying to heal everything all at once. And yeah, I could not keep my electrolytes in balance. I couldn't keep my blood sugars balanced. I couldn't keep anything balanced. And so every time I got behind the wheel of a car, it was kind of scary because I didn't know what was going to happen. I kept food with me all the time. I kept salt with me, electrolytes. So you know what? If you're really stuck, guys, get some rock salt and keep rock salt in your purse or wherever. And if you're really stuck for electrolytes, chew on some rock salt because it works really well to help you if your electrolytes are tanking. So
nice.
There you go. And the other thing is that it suggests that if you're hungry, to eat more fat, and they suggest that you eat fat bombs. Fat bombs are a delicious solution. These bite-sized treats made with ingredients like coconut oil and nut butter deliver a perfect hit of fat to rev ketone output and kill appetite. And says just 1 or 2 controls hunger for 3 to 4 hours, and you're using candy to stoke your results. Okay, that last line is the whole problem with fat bombs. So you know what, guys? You've got to really read. Because, they not do they say it once. Not do they say it once. Well, I have the gooder English tonight. Not do they say it once. They say it twice.
Not once, but twice. Thrice, shall they?
That's right. And they show you, look. The easy way to drop up to 17 pounds each week. I want to know what I'm doing wrong.
Right? And
I must be telling all of you guys the wrong things because I'm not losing 17 pounds a week. So really, you guys, there's a lot of misinformation out there. The information in here isn't horrendous. It's just not as accurate as I'd like to see it. And I did laugh pretty hard over the whole 17 pounds a week every week. Because, that's what it says. That's what it says. 17 pounds every week. There's no disclaimer. There's no nothing. It doesn't say you should be a guy. It doesn't say this might only be for the first week. It doesn't say anything like that. It says every single week. So, you know what? When people try it from the magazine, guess what's going to happen? If they don't lose 17 pounds, all of a sudden they're going to think they're doing something wrong.
Right? Now, I want for you, because you better math in your head than I do. And I want you to just roughly calculate. And I think you said you kind of did something similar for you. How long is a year and a half in weeks? And had I lost 17 pounds a week, how long ago would I have ceased to exist?
So a year and a half in weeks is 78 weeks.
Okay.
All right. You had what? How many pounds did you want to lose?
20. But just out of curiosity, I weighed 180 pounds. So I want to figure out if I lost 17 pounds every single week, how long before I, ceased to exist?
I'm not doing that math.
Oh, come on, it's Thinner. It's like the movie Thinner.
It wouldn't have taken you long to cease to exist, Dory.
Well, this is what I want to know. I want to play a game of if this was the movie Thinner and I lost 17 pounds every single week, how long would it have taken? Like what, 2 months? Month and a half? 3 months?
Not even. It would have taken you... You wanted to lose 20 pounds, and you ended up losing what? You lost 35 pounds,
yes.
right? On
yes.
keto? Okay. So that would have taken you, according to this magazine, 2 weeks, because that's 34 pounds.
Yeah.
So in 2 weeks, you would have had, and here you are 78 weeks later going, hi, guys.
Hi.
So guess what? I'm going to help you start keto because it's not going to only go away. It's 17 pounds a week every week.
Right.
You'll be lucky some weeks to get 17 ounces.
Well, some weeks you're just lucky that you are alive and grateful and that you feel better. Because you know what? I've had plenty of weeks where I was like, okay, so clearly the scale hates me. The internet is not my friend. And, awesome sauce, I gained another 2 pounds. Like, oh, Wow, this is so good. Because not only did I not lose large intervals of weight on the regular, guess what? There were even times when I was like, dude, how did I gain 4 pounds? And then I played around with that same 4 pounds for 3 months because, well, I know how it happened. I was so sick I couldn't eat for 3 days. And I was like, oh my God, look at me. I lost 4 pounds. But then guess what? When I stopped being so sick that I couldn't eat for 3 days, I gained back that 4 pounds. So even though, I probably never should have lost that 4 pounds, now it's somewhere in the back of my head that, you know what, I was 145 and now I'm 150. So I probably should try to re-lose that 5 pounds. But here's the reality. I was so sick I couldn't eat for 3 days. It probably wasn't even my 5 pounds to lose.
And my scales playing the ever so fun game of, okay, so we were bouncing between 190, 192, 190, 192, 190, 192.
Oh,
then we dropped to 188. Now
yes.
we're playing the 188 to 192 game. Because that's so much more fun.
Okay, so this is how this game goes. When I started keto, I was 180, and then I was 182, and then I was 180, and then I was 182, and then I was 180, and I was like, how do I keep gaining and re-losing the same 2 pounds? 180, 182, and then all of a sudden, boom, I was 170, and I was like, what? Oh, this is so awesome. I'm totally doing this again. And then I was 170, 172, 170, 172. And I played that for another, 3 months. Because that sounds like a good round number. And then I was, boom, 165. And I was like, awesome! Touchdown! Rocket! 165, 167. 165, 167. For the love
it's just the bane of our existence. And and then you live with someone like my husband who goes, oh, I have a couple extra pounds on, so he stops eating the 3 almonds that he was eating the day before, and that couple pounds falls off, right?
Right.
I'm still trying to lose the same 40 pounds I've been trying to lose since October, and he has been maintaining for a year, and then puts a little on and goes, oh, I'll just stop eating this for
a day. For a day, right? Or like my son, who's fortunate enough to be 20, male, and relatively active, who's like, oh, I feel like I could lose a little weight. I think I'll dabble, Mom. I'll try your keto for a month or 2. Let's make it an even 3 months so it's a good solid try. And the bugger loses 60 pounds in 3 months. He's ahead of their shortcut keto. Ask him what he did. He did eat what I made.
Wow, he actually lives up to the magazine.
Right?
Almost. No, because he's only losing 20 pounds a month.
A month, they're saying a week.
13 pounds a week, dude.
So according to them, it should only take him 3 weeks instead of 3 months to lose that.
That's right. Because, in 4 weeks, that would have been 68 pounds.
Yeah. It's just not possible, guys. I'm really curious who the article was written about. And I'm wondering if there was, maybe just some very accidental on-purpose typos. Maybe it's supposed to be, 1.7 pounds? They just
every other diet out there that's sustainable, that is a sustainable weight loss, you want to lose it only a couple pounds at a time, you guys. I know that that's really disappointing when you see people having big results. And let me tell you, I'm one of those big results people, okay? I get that, you guys look at me and I'm like, I lost all my weight, boof, just boof. And then it stopped. And so now you've just watching me shrink and shrink and shrink and shrink and shrink without losing any weight.
Yeah.
So I can understand why you would be frustrated, but now you have to understand, I had the big weight loss, and in 9 months I've lost only 2 pounds, and I've just been losing inches, right? But I've been getting healthy. So I'm on your side too, where now I'm not losing any weight.
Well, and
at all. As a matter of fact, I am heavy. I am heavier now than I was when I was at KetoCon.
well, and I want to point out that if you are in that last 40 club, oh, hi, I'm down to my last 40 pounds. I am so ready to get this on. I just want to say that we are a club unto ourselves, and the last 40 pounds is literally an entirely new journey. And I know that sounds like as lame can be. Like, oh my God, Dory, that's so lame. But it's true. You're resetting. The same thing as if you look at your macros in the beginning. You need to reset those as you lose weight. So if your original weight loss goal was 100 pounds and you've lost 60, guess who needs to relook at their macros? Because you're not wanting to eat the same as your weight loss goal changes. So if you have 100 or 150 or 200 pounds you want to lose, that's going to be way different than if you're in the last 40 or the last 20 or the last 10 or the last 5. Guys, they are all clubs unto their own, and you will find sisters to bond with, because it will take months. You'll be like, dude, I have been in the 40-pound club for like a year. I'm ready to be in like the 35-pound club already. Like, come on. I'd even take the 37-pound club today.
Well, Jerry says, but y'all look a lot smaller than when I first saw you. Absolutely,
yes,
we do. Absolutely,
yes.
Both of us do, and both of us are smaller than when we were at KetoCon. But I weigh more than I did when I got to Texas, because I was 188 pounds in Texas. I'm 192 pounds again. Thank you, Carnivore.
Thank you. Yes, thank you.
But you know what the deal with Carnivore is that you put the weight on because you are pulling out the vitamins, the minerals, the vital nutrients out of the meat that's helping your body heal. So if you put a little bit of weight on when you start Carnivore, not the end of the world, you guys. Eventually it will fall off again. And I'm just doing that bounce. I'm bouncing up and down, 188, 192, 190, 192, 188, 190, like, whatever. I step because it's the same old boring story.
Which is why I gave up my scale. Because I got so frustrated with the bounce that what I did instead is, as soon as a minimum of 3 people came up to me and said, oh my God, Dory, you look like you've lost at least another 10 pounds. Then I would hop on the scale. And you know what? It was 50-50. Once in a blue moon, I'd hop on and they were right. Once in a blue moon, I'd hop on, I was the same. One time I hopped on and I gained weight, and I was like, whatever. If I look all kinds of thinner, I'll take it all day long. Because you know what? Nobody carries a scale around. Nobody's going to make you hop on that scale. And when I was bigger, I had this theory about when they ask for your weight on your driver's license, and I lied about that. Because like I'm the only one who lied about their weight on their driver's license. Girl, they don't want to know how much you actually weigh. They want to know how much you look like you weigh. I looked like I weighed 275, so I lied by 15 pounds. What are they gonna do? Be like, I'm gonna pull out my scale, miss, and you better verify your weight on your driver's license. I lied through my teeth.
And why did you lie, 13?
Oh,
you weren't ashamed of your weight, were you?
Well, I mean, do you really, really want somebody looking at your driver's license being like, oh, look at her. She's like this close to 300 pounds. And somehow, I don't even know, somehow 275 sounded better in my head than 290, because it wasn't like just a smidgen from 300. And yet I didn't want to be like, I weigh 195 pounds. You don't know. Because it had to be at least realistic. So, you know, like, they say if you're going to lie about your age, don't start with 12. Right? Like, oh my God, I'm going to be 13 on my next birthday. At least be realistic and be like, hi, I'm 35.
I was going to say, I could probably get away with 35 these days.
Right? I'm like, I'll start realistic. I don't want to be like, hi, I'm going to be 16 on my next birthday. My name's Dory.
Yeah, that wouldn't work.
Oh, come on. You don't know pigtails. One of them little.
You could not pull off 16 anymore. Just don't even try.
Oh, fine then. You're just bursting bubbles everywhere. You're telling people they can't lose 17 pounds. I can't look 16. What's next? What is next? Have 17. You no shame? You just shatter dreams everywhere. Whatever.
Well, and you know what? Speaking about shame, Dory and I were talking about that this morning. Actually, I was really shocked. We were having a discussion this morning privately, and I was recounting something that I did, and I realized that I still had a lot of shame tied up around it, and I went, we need to talk about that a little bit too. So I went online and I looked up the definition of shame. And shame is a painful feeling of humiliation or distress caused by the consciousness of wrong or foolish behavior.
Okay, well that makes sense.
So in other words, you feel like crap because you are being honest and open about the things that you think that you've done that are wrong, or, you know, you have been programmed to believe are not good for you, or whatever the case is, right? So you've done something, you're aware of it now, and now you're really embarrassed by the fact that you did it, or worse.
Oh, okay. So this then would be why I hoarded food and hid food wrappers and lied about what I ate and pretended I didn't do stuff. Because let's be honest, I bloody well knew I didn't need to eat a whole angel food cake. And when I bought one and you eat it like one slice at a time and then the whole cake is gone, my immediate response is, well, it's not like I ate the whole thing. Like, you know, other people ate it too. But let's be honest, Dory, other people might have gotten one slice before you were like, don't touch my cake. That is diet cake, and that is angel food cake, and that is fat-free. That is the best diet food, and I don't even have to feel guilty about eating the whole cake, which I didn't, by the way, because I totally would never eat a whole cake. Just saying, didn't eat the whole cake, hashtag. Didn't eat it. But I have a friend, and we'll call her Not Dory, and she used to do that junk all the time. Disgraceful.
For me this morning, I was telling Dory, we were talking about, you know, emotional eating, and for me, my big shameful moment this morning that brought this conversation up was I used to binge eat chocolate bars. So I would go to the store, and it was always three. Three chocolate bars. One was always a caramel bar, because that was my favorite, and then two others.
Yes.
And I would bring them home, or I would go sit in my car, or whatever the case was, and I literally like vacuum them down. I don't even know if I tasted them, to be honest with you. And then I would take those wrappers and I would hide them because I didn't want my ex-husband to see them, because, oh my God, you know, if he saw that I ate 3 chocolate bars, and, you know, I'm hiding it from myself because, oh my God, I ate 3 chocolate bars. Now I feel really guilty and ashamed and all these kinds of things, where it was just driven. It was an emotional response to something. A lot of times, you know, I felt like I was filling a hole, like I had a hole.
Yes.
And that hole just was not filled. But I would eat those 3 chocolate bars, and I would get a burst of serotonin and whatever from the sugar and the milk and all the things, you know. But then you have these overwhelming feelings of you have this shame makes you feel this overwhelming hate and weight in your heart, and yes. You feel like you need to cry, and you feel really awful about yourself, and you know, you're looking back and you're feeling really sad that you realize that this was you, and this was your life, and this is, you know, how you chose to react to things. And it's like, wow, how did I ever become that person and not always be this person? It's hard to look back at that stuff and not go, oh dear God.
Well, because there was a reason why I didn't want anybody to know, because even though I I can't say even though I didn't know. Come on, let's be honest, Dory. Nobody needs 2.5 chocolate bars. Nobody needs 3 chocolate bars. Nobody needs a family-size bowl of cereal. I knew I didn't need those things. But does it sound stupid to say if nobody caught me, I was trying to fool myself into thinking if nobody saw it, didn't count. But guess what? Somebody always saw and somebody always knew, and that somebody was me. So then I would play this game in my head, and this might sound really weird, but I would play this never happened game. What? I don't know what you're talking about. There's no wrappers. There's no evidence. That never happened. And sometimes I would go out and I would buy the chocolate bars and I would eat them in the car so that no one would see the wrappers. And I won't lie, I'd buy the king size chocolate bars and eat them before I got home so I wouldn't have to share. And then I would arrive home and my ex-fiance would be like, oh honey, I picked us up a treat and I got myself 1 chocolate bar and I got you 2. And Wendy, I just want you to guess for me for a moment. Do you think I would have said, oh no, oh God, I can't even say it out loud. Oh no, don't mind me. I already had 3 chocolate bars in the car. But I hit the wrappers. I don't need the ones you bought. Or do you think I said, oh baby, thank you so much for bringing me chocolate bars. I've been wanting chocolate all day long and I totally haven't had any chocolate at all today. And man, I have been craving me that because, oh dear God. Okay, so nobody needs 5 chocolate bars in a day, just saying, like...
It's no wonder that we got fat, I know I spent a lot of time, I spent a lot of time, going in the freezer and, just grabbing 1 bite of ice cream and then walking away.
Well, yeah.
And then I come back a little while later and take another bite of it. And, by that time, you can go through half a carton of ice cream in a day doing that really, really easily. I didn't do that. Someone else must have been eating that,
What? Who was in my ice cream stash? That's it. Someone's in trouble. And you live alone.
I have a perfect shame moment, actually.
Uh-huh.
I was having a really rough night, and I decided I was going to go to McDonald's, and I was big. I was a big girl. And I go to McDonald's and I order a Big Mac and the supersized fries and the supersized chocolate shake and I ordered all the things. And I pull up to the window and it's someone I know. Oh. And she looks in the car and it's only freaking me and she knows I'm single and I'm cringing on the inside going, oh, someone just caught me having this eating binge. And do you know how crappy the food tastes when someone takes that away?
Right? It wasn't your own little secret. It doesn't even taste good when somebody knows you're doing it.
No, she
just
busted
sucked
my
the
binge,
fun out of that.
She really, really frosted it. And she didn't like it. It was nothing. It was literally... She's at McDonald's. She sees this all the time. I know that in my head, I assumed she was judging what I was ordering, right?
Yes.
When really it was my own shame of being there in the first place, ordering $20 worth of McDonald's to stuff down my gullet all by myself. And you do it in a way that you don't taste it, you're not chewing it, you're not enjoying it, you're just shoving it in. And after she busted that, not only now am I shoving it in, now I'm really ashamed the whole time because someone knows I'm doing it. Even if she doesn't know I'm doing it, I think she knows that I'm doing it. And that's the only part that matters is what's going on in my head.
And I'm going to say the salt of the tears while you're scarfing down McDonald's does not make it taste less like death and disappointment.
No, it
And you're like, I'm so bad.
No, Jerry, we did not know each other before keto.
No.
We met each other last year through a couple of different keto groups that we no longer belong to.
Yes.
And we started working together behind the scenes in January, and we have done a lot of personal growth coaching together, coaching each other in the areas that we needed coaching, supporting each other through all the kinds of stuff that has been going on in our lives. And then we met at KetoCon in person. But no, we did not know each other before we started keto. And Dory and I have talked about that a number of times.
Yes.
We would not have been friends.
No.
We would not have been
Do you
friends
know what?
under any circumstances would Dory and I have been friends.
No. Because you know what? The carb me wasn't really all the awesomeness you see before you now. I know, shocking. No. Hold that thought for a minute. Try not to laugh out loud when I say that, the 290-pound me who did things like eat 3 chocolate bars and pretend that I didn't, and, did things like hide food and hoard food, and she wasn't all that pleasant or happy either. Because you know what? I sold myself this. I am fat. I am happy. I am well loved. And if you don't like it, ain't nobody paying you to look. And that was my attitude. I wore it in every sense of the word, in my personality, in my mannerisms. That was my persona. If you don't like it, ain't nobody asking you to look. And you know what? I am fat. I am happy. I am plenty loved. I do not need your permission to exist. But the truth is, okay, I was fat. Yeah, I was certainly fat, but I wasn't happy. I was pretend happy. I put on a fake face happy for everybody. But you know what? When I looked at myself in the mirror, I wasn't happy. When I had to go clothes shopping, I wasn't happy. When I was shame eating and hiding and hoarding, there was nothing happy about that. You know what? I made myself available to the lowest common denominator of man because I didn't love myself. I was certainly not happy. And if I was loved, it was not by men who actually respected me or valued me as a person. It was by, oh God. Okay, so here's a shame moment. By seriously, like the worst loser that would come along who would give me the time of freaking day, because really, in all honesty, Dory, you should be happy that anybody's with you. So, be grateful for what you can get, because really, what kind of fat, ugly loser is by themselves forever? And that was my fear.
And I think every overweight person worries about that people are going to be judging them by their weight and that they're going to be exactly like that. Well, I can't do any better because I'm fat.
Yep.
I used to go out to bars and I was just, I was a little heavier, I was a little bit more than a little heavier. I was about 30 pounds heavier than I am now. And I used to have these really good-looking guys on my arms, and someone actually said to me one time, "How do you get guys like that?"
People have no shame.
I'm sorry. Yeah, people have no freaking shame at all. How do you get guys like that?
Because I'm awesome.
I happen to be nice.
Because I'm awesome.
I know, it's a fucker. They don't care that you're fat. They care that you're an awesome human being. And even then, I wasn't all that awesome of a human being, and I was still getting really hot guys. Just and like Dory, carb and sugar me was locked in a mountain of fat, was locked in bipolar. I was not the person that you see now. A lot of the things that you see, but they couldn't come out. Or they tried to come out and they'd leak out a little bit and then they'd get shut down again because I was sick. I was really sick. But even when I was really sick, I was still pretty Dory and her shenanigans. We would not have gotten along at all. So, carb and sugar Dory, Wendy?
No.
Nope. Keto Dory, Wendy? Absolutely.
Sisters forever till the end. But in all honesty, I don't even like who I used to be. So I don't expect the people who are in my life now would have fallen in love with who I used to be. Because I'm not who I used to be. I'm really, really not. And it took a long time to go through that process. It doesn't happen overnight. And you know what? We're still working on it. When Wendy says we work behind the scenes, I mean, we talk to you guys a little bit about these things that happen, but behind the scenes is where the really intensive work happens, because all these things that you guys are going through, we either did, or we are, or we still are, or we have before. None of this is unique to me or to Wendy or to you. We all have our shame, our lack of boundaries, the ways that we abused our own selves in judgment. You're not unique. I mean, you're unique and I love you, but that is not unique about your journey. We all did it. We all beat ourselves up every chance we get.
Absolutely we do. And, you know, that's why Dory and I do what we do on Monday nights, is because you guys need to give yourselves permission to go gentle on yourselves, go easy on yourselves, allow yourselves to feel the feelings, because they're going to come up whether you want them to or not.
Yes.
So, you know, and you know, one of the beauties of having a relationship with someone like Dory is, last week I had a really emotional moment. It drove me. I have not had cravings. I have not had really bad problems. Like, the cravings I've had have been manageable, whatever. This was overwhelming, emotionally driven. I want to dive into a vat of ice cream filled with caramel bars. I called Dory and I'm like, you have to talk me off the ledge. I'm about to blow 18 months of keto and dive back into dairy. Like, dive back into dairy. Hi. Can anyone remind me that bipolar comes with dairy for me? You know, I was ready to do that. And the first thing she says, which made me kind of laugh, she's like, so is there any food around you that you have to worry about? You know, are they a trigger? I'm like, I'm sitting in my car.
I was like, oh, good. Don't go anywhere.
There's no food. I don't want to drive my car anywhere. I'm sobbing my face off. I just need to talk. And you know what, guys? Those cravings, too, will pass. It took me about 10, 15 minutes of talking to Dory before I could even put the key in the ignition. But when I finally put that key in the ignition, the craving was passing, and I didn't feel like going and driving down to court the dairies and diving head first into the ice cream freezer anymore. So build yourselves a support system, because this support system is what makes Dory, Nancy, and me work.
Yes.
Right? And
yes,
having Dory as my friend allowed me to call her and say, I am losing my shit. Please help me.
Yes.
You need to have a losing my shit friend that you can call and say, I'm losing it, please help me. There's nothing wrong with asking for help, you guys.
No. And I was more than happy to do it.
All the time.
I was more than happy to do it, and that was my first instant thought. Like, when you literally phoned me in tears and said, oh dear God, talk me off the ledge, I want to eat all of the things. I was like, okay, what is around you? Like, that is concern number one, because I know for me back in the day, if I had ever even dreamed to tell anyone I wanted to have the things, I already would have bought all those things, and I would have been sitting on the floor with 3 days worth of junk food spread all around me that I knew full well I was going to eat in 3 hours. And then I would have been like, oh my God, I'm going to eat all the things. Want to come hang out and do it?
Yeah, like, you know, when you go for the junk food run to the grocery store and you get the chips and the dip, and you go to the bakery and you get the stuff, and then you go get the ice cream, and then you go home and you eat it all. Oh, and the Twizzlers. Don't forget the Twizzlers.
Oh, the Twizzlers. And you dip those in the ice cream.
In the same night. It's like, what the heck is wrong with you?
Did you know that you could make like an awesome root beer float and bite the end off your Twizzlers and use it as a straw? Did you know that?
Absolutely.
Yeah, right? All the things, like, holy man, if you guys ever think that there was a time when you binged, you ate all the things, and nobody ever could do like that, I've done it. If you have eaten cream eggs by the dozen, I've done it. If you ate a whole cheesecake and then pretended you didn't, I might have done that too. Maybe.
If you drank Kool-Aid and ate Reese's Pieces and gummy bears like they were going out of style while you were pregnant with your first baby and put on 90 pounds, I might have done that.
I might have gained 100 pounds when I was pregnant because I was all like, whatever. I made an art out of eating for 2 into eating for 5. You don't know. You don't know. I'm having a 70-pound baby. You shut up.
We were jerks.
Oh, it was terrible because I thought...
I'm owning it. We were jerks, but we were going... You know what? No one stopped us. That's the thing is, no one stopped us. No one ever, in my first pregnancy, mentioned my weight. My weight was flying up the scale, and no one said diddly squat to me. Oh, nothing.
They told me. I just told them off.
But they never said a word. I kept waiting. I think part of me was actually putting weight on purpose to see if someone would actually call me on it. And they didn't. Well, so when I settled at 240 pounds after my first baby, yeah, you know, you start learning some hard lessons in a big hurry, like how it doesn't fall off when you breastfeed when they tell you it's going to. Because, you know, we both just assume it doesn't matter what weight I put on because I'll just nurse that kid and it'll all fall off. Well, surprise! It didn't fall off any better than keto.
I'll one step you worse. I was like, whatever, I'm pregnant. I'm going to like give birth and that's just going to fall off. I'm the smarty pants who arrived at the delivery room with, wait for it, pre-pregnancy panties. Whatever, I don't know who you're kidding. I'm totally wearing that junk home. I literally packed my bag with pre-pregnancy panties. Now, if you've ever had a child, witnessed a child being born, stood around a woman who had a child, you know that they're like, okay, why do I have a 6-month-old baby and I still look 6 months pregnant? And I was all like, oh no, you totally like give birth and that just like goes away. So I'm going to tell you what. So I gave birth. My son was 8 pounds, 9 ounces. And I figured like, come on, like 20 pounds in placenta at least. Hello. You know, like really. So I give birth, I run down the hall. Well, and I don't run because let's be honest, there's no running after giving birth. I waddle my behind down to the scale and I hop on there. No, I shit you not, woman. The day I give birth, okay? Because again, I'm Dory. So, and of course, I've gotten stitches, right? I was in labor for 2.5 days. So here I am. I'm very sure I'm waddling myself down to the scale. And I get on the scale and I was like, what? How did I only lose 6 pounds? The child weighed more than that. The child was 8, 9. I'm sure the placenta was, by now I've decided it should be like 50 pounds. Because, you know, really, the doctor did say I had an extremely long umbilical cord. So factoring that in, you know, probably should be at least 50 pounds. And the scale said I lost 6 pounds. And I was like, oh, clearly it was the 4 bags of saline they gave me. That's got to be water weight. I'm sure by the time I leave here tomorrow, I'll be down like 70 pounds. Just saying.
So Terry says, oh Lord, you're both making me sit here by myself laughing.
Oh.
And then, hold on. Oops, no,
guess what? Our 2-minute warning is back. We have 1 minute and 54 seconds.
Okay.
Yay to the 2-minute warning.
We love you guys. Thank you so much. Jerry's like, oh, stop, my side's hurting for laughing so hard. Good, because Instagram just rescued you. So,
you guys,
like, share, follow, subscribe to our YouTube, turn on notifications. We love you guys so much. Thank you for joining us tonight. We know we were late, but namaste. Mwah. Much love to you guys.
And if you did not lose 17 pounds this week, just say it. Bye, guys.